Doug Oberhelman is chairman and CEO of Caterpillar since 2010. During the Caterpillar press conference, Oberhelman spoke about the global economic situation, recent political problems, and the possible effects on the Caterpillar business units.
This year's a little bit stronger, and there's a lot of things driving that, I think. Housing is certainly better this year than it's been. There's no question about that. The Washington agreement on the budget, the debt ceiling, putting those out to later in the year and into next year is not going to be an issue this year. We're standing in the best chance we've had for a very slow recovery sustained throughout the rest of this year in North America. So I feel pretty good about that. Europe, the news continues somewhat better, but from a very deep hole. Northern Europe is certainly better than Southern Europe, and now Eastern Europe has had a little hiccup, so we'll see how all that plays out. But most of the bad news in Europe is behind us all. I would not expect a great boom coming out of Europe in 2014, but I don't see any more major road bumps. China is recovering, I would say. We've been through a fairly rigid downturn the last couple of years. We're doing fairly well because we've concentrated on our business model. We're doing a lot better in our industry, but I would not expect China to be the big boom that we have been used to, nor do I think that would be good for our company or for the world for that matter. They're dealing with some liquidity issues at the federal government level, and we'll see how all that plays out. But generally, I don't think there's a big cliff there to worry about, as many would say. South America is holding up very well. We have a tremendous business in Brazil. The South American mines and resource industries have done a little bit better than elsewhere in the world. So we haven't seen the sharp decline in Latin America that we've seen elsewhere. So overall, it's a fairly mixed bag, I would say, generally with North America leading the way with a slightly stronger economic growth prospect this year than we've seen. I want to be very guardedly optimistic because we just saw a weekend event that can change things in a minute. And the world is a fragile place. The world's economy is a fragile thing. And it doesn't take much of a disruption to cause fairly large ripple effects. So very guardedly, very guardedly optimistic, I would say. But scale that to a year ago, maybe slightly less guarded. But we really have to keep an eye on things. We've been concentrating in our company, as you saw our results last year, to really work on our cost structure, really to be flexible in how we respond to this. We're unfortunately seeing cycles that seem to be more frequent and deeper. I think Caterpillar is getting better at responding to that. We're turning that into a competitive advantage. It's not fun to go through, but at the end, we're stronger for it as we are today after having gone through what we saw in 2013, as we were in 2010 after what we saw in 2009. We are keeping all eyes on every cost, on every growth piece, on absolutely everything we can to make sure that no matter which way this goes, up or down or sideways, we know how to manage it.
Bauforum24 TV. Construction in motion. www.Bauforum24.tv